Okay, and we are live. Hello, everyone. Hi, Magdalena. How are you doing?
Hi. Hi, Chris. So nice to see you. How are you?
Great. Hot. Like, I'm joining in Barcelona. You are joining us from Switzerland. So, how is your weather forecast?
Well, to be honest, today it's a sunny and nice weather. So the last days it was super nice. It was hot. It was beautiful. As of tomorrow, they are saying it's going to rain. Like for the next 5 to 6 days, I don't know. And I'm already in my head like, oh no. But this is Switzerland. Like it's always the mixed
Yeah.
weather. And during the summer, sometimes it was sunny, sometimes it was cold. So it's not as nice as in Barcelona. I would rather, switch with you.
I mean, if you would be living here for 3 months in the heat, which is unsupportable, probably you would change your mind.
Could be, fair enough. Could be.
Exactly. Well, anyways, hi everyone. Well, as you know, we're joining from Barcelona in Switzerland. Everyone who is joining, please let us know where are you joining. So we are all here international. And you can also drop your name. Well, I suppose I'm going to see the name, but well, the country at least. And yeah, what is your knowledge of AI? Like, probably, I suppose everyone is HR specialist, right? So I'm just curious if they already tested something or not. Well, Magdalena, I'm going to give you a little bit like a scene. So I want you to give a little bit of introduction about what you do and your work.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So, hi everyone, also from my side. As Chris said, I'm based in Zurich, Switzerland. Better said close to Zurich, but I'm just going to stick to Zurich because probably you don't know the other cities.
Yeah.
And I mean, the big cities, right? But I'm in a smaller one, close to Zurich. And I'm an AI trainer for HR and a consultant for this topic, for the intersection of AI and HR. And I'm doing this for the past 2.5 years now. I have been for the past 12 years in different HR functions. So I really had this, classic, like I started in recruitment, then I moved more into HR generalist roles up to head of HR director, you name it. So, and when this whole hype started around AI, especially with ChatGPT, being there and everyone could use it, I was like, oh my God, I felt so overwhelmed. And I was thinking, how am I going to understand what this is about? Because I don't have any technical background at all. Because as I said, I studied psychology and then I was in HR for the past years in my career. And then I was thinking, like, this tool, well, it's not a tool, but this whole thing that we call AI is so powerful. And what if each and every one of us would use their domain expertise to actually do something about it? And that's how I came up with the idea of doing what I'm doing. So I thought, okay, let's start get more familiar with this. What is this? What is it about? And how can I actually solve my everyday problems, my everyday workflows, something that I'm doing every day in HR? And this is how I started. And, kind of naturally, Chris, it happened that, people came to me and were like, oh, how did you do this? How did you do that? And then I started to give out tips and and suddenly I was there, founding my own company and training people on this topic. And I have to say, I love it. Like, I absolutely enjoy it because I love people. I love everything that is connected to HR. And I think that now with having AI, we actually need to be more human than ever. So this is, I mean, people are always talking about, are we becoming more human, less human? But I think that we are starting to realize more and more what it actually means to be human.
Yeah.
Because we see the limitations, we see the fear, we see the concerns, we also see all the positive aspects, but then we realize there are certainly some things that cannot be replaced with AI. But I know we're going to talk about this in a
Yeah,
second. Yeah. I mean, it's a huge topic, and I could go on for hours talking about this. But just for everyone to know, this is basically what I do. So I go out, I train HR teams internationally. So I'm working, across different continents: US, Middle East, Europe. I have not been to Asia yet, but maybe, you never know. Exactly. And, I'm working with big companies like Fortune 500 companies. I'm working with enterprises. I'm working with mid-sized companies, but also with startups. So it always depends. And I'm basically coming in and showing them what they can do and how they can enhance their, everyday workflows with AI.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, HR, I think it's a very tedious job as well. It has so many functionalities. I have a student, she is HR, and she's in charge of payrolls. And she is like the only one who is making payrolls for 600 people.
Wow.
It's just, I mean, like, it's like I'm just like listening to her and she's like always over the top, It's just like you have to implement AI in your company. You have to give this idea, because this is not normal. If you cannot hire people, you have to find a solution. It's like, of course, some things needs to, as you said, human is always have to be there, right?
Yes.
But needs to be thinking that like these repetitive tasks, they just have to be like really like automated because they cannot spend hours doing extra work just because your company cannot either hire help for you or just find a solution for you, to not overwork.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more on this.
Okay, so you've mentioned that you worked in across Europe, Middle East, and US, right? So it's no secret that it's all of these regions has a different approach to AI, right, and how they adopt. So I wonder, what did you discover? What cultural differences, right, in HR specifically, you discover in these regions? How they like adopt it? How they react on this?
Yeah, this is a great question, and it is so fascinating because I always get this question depending on where I am. When I'm teaching in the US, they ask me how you do it in Europe. When I do it in Europe, they ask me how you do it here and there. So basically, what I have seen, starting with Europe, because I'm based here, in Europe, the focus is often on compliance and ethics, and they try to regulate it as much as they can. So I'm a big fan of regulation, and obviously, we need to have some kind of regulations, and we have it now with the EU AI Act, etc. But sometimes it feels that it's kind of slowing down the innovation. But this is how Europe works. And it's not only in AI, but basically with everything
Yeah,
else, right? If we
more
think,
cautious.
yes, they are more, exactly, they are more taken care of, and baby steps, and let's see what comes out, etc. While in the US, it's really about speed and innovation. So they want to dominate. They are like, okay, let's go all in. We try whatever we can, and then afterwards we will kind of minimize the damage. This is more, I would say, the type of mentality. And now we are having two completely different mentalities. We're thinking, okay, these ones, they are going all in, and they basically even maybe sacrifice some type of things that might happen. We have seen it with I don't know if you have seen, and probably many people that are here have seen the Workday lawsuit, for example, talking about, AI in recruitment, and it was not working that well, etc. In Europe, they would already try to not let those things happen,
Yeah.
right? And the Middle East, which is the third region, they are different as well. So in their approach or mentality, they are very ambitious. So they really want to be kind of at the forefront. So I would say that they are also pushing a lot for innovation. But the difference there is it's very much driven top down. So what is decided from the top, that's what other people are taking on and doing in their companies, etc. So the government is very much involved, which is also good, because I think we are always talking about AI adoption in organizations, and we say the board has to be involved. It's basically the same when you translate it to a country, right? So I think it's also interesting. But I think what stuck me most is how differently trust in AI is built across these regions. So while in the US, they are not so much thinking about these trust issues, in Europe, we are talking a lot about it.
Yeah.
And in the Middle East is like, okay, if, I don't know, the king is trusting it, I'm going to trust it too. So it's a whole different set of mentality, but it's fantastic. It's amazing. I think this is actually the beauty of diversity, because we can definitely learn from each other and from different regions.
Exactly. And try to find, I mean, Amazingly would be to find some middle ground, not to go all in, but also have some kind of cautious steps. But yeah, we
Absolutely.
learn and we see what works the best as well, right? So it's just like everywhere.
Yes.
Beautiful answer and nice insights. Okay, let's go a little bit in a funny note, okay? Before we go to the serious questions. So, what do you think if approach to HR were a weather forecast? Okay, let's imagine now you are a weather forecast representative. So you have to tell me what does the weather look like today in AI and HR?
So I would say if here is like the forecast table,
Uh-huh.
partly sunny with scattered thunderstorms.
I
There
love
is some there is some optimism and clear benefits,
I
but
love it.
also sudden storms around ethics, data quality, and employee trust.
I couldn't say better. It was like I have more or less the same weather condition here, so I'm not gonna repeat myself. Fantastic. I think it's beautiful. Like
I
we're still
think this describes it. This describes it very good because when I speak to HR people
yeah.
in the beginning of the training, they get like super enthusiastic. Yeah, they get super like oh wow, this is so interesting, and then they start like I can see they're drifting back in their chair, and they're like, oh, there is this storm coming because. Suddenly some fear kind of appears or some type of overwhelmment, I would say. Does this word even exist? Yeah, but you know what I mean. So this is it, partly sunny with thunderstorms.
Yeah. I think it's also mostly concerned because like a lot of HR specialists are mostly females, right? So I think because we are
Oh,
more cautious about what these tools are bringing. So I think that's also the reason why in HR
yeah,
you have this, like kind of concerns
yeah.
that is coming up. Okay, so I have one more thing for you prepared. So,
Okay.
yesterday I was talking with ChatGPT and I was just like, look, this is Magdalena. She has I gave a little bit information about you. I mean, strictly professional, okay?
Yeah.
No personal things. So, anyways, everything what you have live, so don't worry. So I asked him, like, look, now you have information about Magdalena. She is writing her autobiography. So, how would you title it? So it gives me several options. I gave you some of them, and I want you to choose one.
Okay.
And the public, if they want to, they also can participate and put their option, which one they like. So the title number one, 99 problems, but compliance ain't one. Okay. Number two, Control Alt Recruit Adventures in AI Talent Hunting. Uh, My Life in KPIs, an HR Love Story.
Hmm.
And the last, Swipe Right on Talent, HR in the AI Era.
Oh.
Oh, Tinder.
Oh, I like this one, I have to say. So, just like super spontaneously, I like the last one.
Okay.
I think the first one is like super funny. It's
Yeah,
super.
it is.
I mean, obviously, Jay-Z was in my head first, 99 Problems. That's the first thing that came to me. So definitely. But I would choose the last one. I
Okay.
definitely would choose this one.
Yeah,
Swipe
it's a
right.
little bit more professional, like kind of, yeah, swipe. And then you also have a Tinder one. So you have like a kind of correlations. Yeah,
Sounds so cool.
me too. I liked the first one. I was like laughing a lot with this, to be honest, as well. But yeah, the last one I think is more also suits you
I
better.
think so. Yeah, yeah, I think so. The other ones I also liked, but I think like one was very much focusing on talent and
Yeah,
recruitment, and I think overall giving the whole HR flavor, I would choose number 4.
perfect. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what HR is like. What kind of status HR? Sorry, not HR. HR is already long time. How AI has an HR.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of digging, and I've come with some statistic that actually only like around 12% of HR department actually adopt AI right now, right? So, and I mean, this is a very low number, right? If to think about. So, why do you think it's coming from?
I think it's very difficult with those numbers, Chris, to be super honest to you, because I'm following those type of reports and statistics, and they are changing so much. Like you can find some reports where it says, oh, 46% of HR, 58, I don't know, now I hear 12. It's difficult because where do these numbers come from? Like who have they asked? Which region? What type of companies? How big are those companies? It's very, very difficult to say. So, and then what does actually adoption mean? Does it mean that every day we are using ChatGPT to write a job description? Yeah, we have successfully adopted AI in HR.
100%.
Exactly, exactly. Or does it mean that we are really using AI to, replace workflows that we have done manually for those type of admin repetitive tasks? So I do not trust those numbers fully. I mean, I'm not the one
It's an
to.
average, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But I think it probably, when we would say that this number is right, then it is driven by fear, I think.
Okay.
It's driven by fear, and it's driven by a lot of misconceptions that people have, not only in HR, in many jobs, but I can talk about HR now because I'm working in this intersection. And one of the biggest misconception is usually that AI will replace, humans, the human element. Oh, our job will be made redundant. Am I going to lose my job? This is the killer question that you hear everywhere. And actually,
And
I'm getting tired of it because I can see it all over LinkedIn. You are going to lose your job to AI. It's simply not true. And I believe, and that's what I said in the very beginning, AI showing us what being human actually means. And this meaning that we are showing more importance to the things like, empathy, for example, or what it is to have like a difficult conversation with someone. All of these human elements, they can not be replaced by AI. And I know AGI, a whole other topic. We're not going to jump into
no,
this.
that's it for another one.
Exactly. I mean, no. When we're talking about the present, AI is not going to replace human element, human judgment, and it's simply not going to happen. We have to work with it instead of against it. And the best projects I have seen talking about AI in HR is really where HR gets elevated, by freeing us up from the admin work so we can focus on the people.
That's the beautiful like finish, you know. No, I totally agree. I think as you said, like AI will replace like it's everywhere. It's like
Yes.
we shouldn't think it's I don't know. I mean, of course we can go into this road and it kind of can happen, but I don't really believe that humanity is so like stupid,
Yeah.
to let this happen, because there are so many people who is like empathetic, right, who have this. We all need personal touch and like
Yeah.
have the I don't know, like for me personally, like I really enjoy to have like face-to-face meetings rather than to have like this online, when I do classes, for example. I wouldn't, and I don't know, maybe I'm because of the old generation kind of, right, so I got used to this, but I
We're not old.
old meaning, but I was still in the time that we didn't have the phones. My first
I
phone was when I
know.
was like 15, with like snake game or something. like there
Same
was-
for me.
so I still have like more my childhood was around, like running around and anything, but still
Yeah.
I'm not the only one. Even like some teenagers, they would be looking for human
Yes.
touch.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Can you share the time, like, let's talk a little bit about the failures, right? So we want to show that AI is not like a magical pill that's going to help you out and everything. So I want you to try to remember on your journey, and maybe sometimes it happened even right now, I don't know. So it's just like when like you implement or use AI and it didn't work, and the lesson which you learned from this.
I could give you tons of examples because, and this is also a misconception that I would like to address here. I think it's important for everyone to know that in most of the cases, it doesn't work out.
Mhm.
And it doesn't work out in the first place. And it takes some time until it works out because in order to work out, we need to know what we actually want to solve. But I want to give a very, very concrete example. because this is a topic that is also personally very, very important to me, talking about AI in recruitment. So I have tried several AI screening tools, and simply AI doesn't get it. It does not get the nuances when it comes to recruitment. So obviously you can train it, on huge data sets, and it gets keywords. It can, with natural language processing, it can also realize if someone writes BSc or someone writes Bachelor of Science. It can read all of these things,
Mhm.
but what it cannot get is if you have a mom, for example, that has a gap in her CV because she decided to take care of her children for 2 or 3 years, and
Mm.
now she has a gap. And I mean, or someone who has simply lost their job and they were doing some type of trainings or coaching sessions before they find another role. So all of these things AI cannot get now, not at the moment. You could train it on this, but I'm not a fan of it. And I have tried several of these solutions, and that's what I'm saying in my trainings and to my clients. I'm not a fan of AI screening tools.
Mhm.
There are several other things where you can use AI in recruitment for scheduling interviews, for, sending out reminder emails, for collecting information of the candidate, like, hey, we are missing diploma XYZ, for taking notes of the interview, like Fireflies AI, for example, so you can concentrate on the candidate. So there are tons of things where you can use AI in recruitment for. You don't need to use it for screening a CV. There are some roles where it does work. For example, mass recruitment. So if there is a restaurant or a hotel, for example, that is looking for waiters, it is a very easy role. It is very easy to understand. And now I need 200 waiters because I'm a big hotel. This is something where you can say, okay, let's try an AI screening tool. And there I could partly agree that it would work out. But when it comes to higher positions, to specialized positions where it needs to get nuances, it doesn't work. I have tried it several times. I do not recommend it. And again, we all know AI is only as good as the data we feed it. But even there is some limitation. You can feed it with as much data as you want, but there is still human nuances it cannot get.
Yeah, that's very insightful and very interesting, like from the perspective of the HR, because you feel
Yeah.
like, okay, that's something that's easier that HR AI can do, right? But
Yeah.
well, that's nice to know, like an insight from the
Yeah.
person who's working in HR for so many. What's your thoughts about the using kind of avatar for the interviews?
Do you mean as the candidate or as the
That
company?
is a HR specialist, yeah. So instead of you joining avatar, which is making the
I
interview.
I don't like it at all. Like personally, I don't like it. I think it's not, again, this is like the human element, because if I am the candidate and I want to join your company, let's say I want to join She I want to feel you. Like I want to feel the company culture. I want to know where am I going? And again, for mass recruitment, I could understand it works because if I'm a waiter in a hotel, probably there is not so much differences about the culture. I don't know. I don't want to go too close to anyone,
It
but
depends on the restaurant and depend on the hotel.
of course. But let's just assume you have always worked in like a big hotel or restaurant with hundreds of people, and you're like, okay, the job is always the same. I just do what I do. Okay. But in general, no. I mean, if I would join as a candidate and I would see an AI avatar, I would probably directly log out. I would
The
not
same, yeah.
recommend this at all. I'm not saying that we're not heading there, because who knows, 50 to 100 years, I think that this could be definitely realistic.
Well, maybe a little bit earlier.
I
But
don't know.
yeah, I
But
mean,
no, I wouldn't do it.
for me, the
I
same.
definitely,
I
no,
wouldn't want to work for a company which is like, even
no,
if it's a first interview,
yes.
make an effort. Like,
Make an
make an
effort,
effort.
because I made an effort as the candidate. I put in
Exactly.
time and energy to write this application, to send it out. I mean, even if I'm not writing it, but I'm putting in an effort, I'm putting in some hope. I'm reading about you as a company. I'm getting excited. And now I want to meet you. I want to feel you. I want to see the vibe. Does it really match what I'm reading in the job description? So please don't do avatars.
Agree. And still, they're not that good yet. You still feel like
No.
they're like,
Yeah.
I mean, They're getting better, let's be
Yeah.
honest, right? But I still they're not perfect, so you can see that. Cool.
Yes.
I think we're coming in a very interesting topic about like ethical dilemmas, right?
Mhm.
So I think there is a lot of, I mean, like the biggest example with the Amazon recruitment tool, right? About
Yeah.
not selecting the females with their
Mhm.
tool. So, uh, like everywhere, not only HR, but biases. This is something that is really, really important topic to talk to. So, what's your thoughts about this? What's your face like working with AI around this?
So, bias and algorithms, we will never be free of bias. Never.
We can
And
try. We
we
can
can
try.
try, but I don't think it's possible because the data comes from humans. Humans are biased. Everyone is biased.
Yeah.
If a person tells you I'm not biased, they're simply lying. It's not possible because even if you say I'm not biased, you have some type of unconscious bias.
Yeah.
You have some type of unconscious bias, and it doesn't need to be on gender, race, or age.
Yeah. On the
It
other
can
side.
be, it can be I see a mom and she gives a phone to her child, and I'm like, why does she do that? And this is already bias. I mean, all of those different things. So every human being on this earth is biased. We will always be biased, and there is bias in the algorithm. We can try to minimize the bias, but we will never be free of it. And this is really something I'm always thinking about. And, especially talking about ethics, I keep on repeating this every time I speak somewhere, like live or at a conference. I always say, what about our ethics? Like, now that we have AI, we talk about bias and ethics, and oh my God, everything has to be so ethical. And yes, please give us ethical solutions. I'm sorry, where has this discussion been like 5 or 10 years ago? Like what am I missing here? Like when I was entering boardrooms 5 years ago, no one was talking about ethical solutions. Everything was very, very political, still is. Everything is very, very political when it comes to organizations, when it comes to hiring, when it comes to promotions, etc. So don't give me this ethical talk because it's I mean, we are just simply lying to ourselves. I understand. And of course, we should aim for ethical solutions. I want to be ethical, but don't blame AI now. Don't say, oh, ethics are just now important because of AI, because AI is bringing in the bias. No, AI is mirroring exactly what we have been doing for the past years. And now we cannot hide anymore, and the whole bias is coming out on the surface. And as soon as we start to accepting it as humans, as humanity, then we can actually work on it. But as long as we say, oh, no, no, we are not biased and AI is bringing the bias, sorry, I don't see no progress there. I think we are simply lying. And also, Chris, there are even some, countries, mentalities out there. They say, we don't care about bias. We are biased.
At least they're
We are
honest.
biased. Like, I don't want to hire someone who is fat, for example. And they say it like, this is what I think. And I really don't care. Like what you think in your country, XYZ, because that's how we do it. And even this is something that we have to accept. We cannot go out and be that arrogant to say we are going to solving the bias problem for the whole world. I'm sorry, like what are we talking about? It's utopic, right? It's not realistic. So this is a dilemma we will never be able to fully solve, and I think we should simply accept it.
Yeah, I think you have a good point on this. So, because yeah, we all come with the biases, right? From
Yeah.
like all this technology is just, as you said, it's just a mirror, is a representation of us. And just because it becomes so evident right now, because it's so usable and people noticing it, people started to notice this stuff, and now blaming AI as well. But at the end of the day, people are behind this who created this technology as well, and like always.
And it is psychologically easy to explain because it's always easier to blame someone or something instead of taking the mirror and looking at yourself, right? And this goes for everything. This goes for everything. So that's why I'm always saying, we should always work on ourselves because no one, I cannot change you, you cannot change me. So what I can change is what I think, how I behave, how I see the things. If everyone would work on themselves, then we would already move into the right direction.
Totally. Beautifully. Okay, cool. So let's go a little bit into practicalities now, right
Yeah.
now. So I want you to share with our audience, well, first of all, some practical tips, right? So maybe if they're just starting with AI, so like in HR and they feel a little bit lost, what's the best action plan, you know? And maybe
Mhm.
you can show us something already that after this webinar, they come with some already knowledge that they can go today and try.
Yes, yes, I'm happy to do that. So I'm happy to show you like an example or something. We can do like a little prompt exercise. But one thing I would like to say or to share is definitely that mindset over tool. So start with your own mindset instead of starting with a tool. This is the thing. Like really, okay, think about what do I want to achieve with it? Start with a problem, start with something you want to do, and then pick the tool according to solving the problem you want to solve. This is one thing. The other thing is, I know that it's super overwhelming because there are thousands of tools and I've tried, I don't know how many hundreds. And sometimes I even, catch myself like doing tons of things at the same time. Go with one tool at a time and try to not master it, but try to understand it. Try to know how to use it and question the outputs. Like you should really start to question outputs, and you don't need to code. As I said in the beginning, I'm not technical. I don't know how to code. I don't know any coding language, but the confidence really grows when the HR function knows what it does. So this is basically it. And let's do like a little exercise. I'm going to do a very easy one. Let me share my screen. Okay, is it this one? Yes. Okay. So can you see my screen? You can probably see my ChatGPT right now, right?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, you can use any large language model that you want. For me, it's ChatGPT this time, and we could, for example, do the exercise of writing a job description, which is the easiest thing you can do as of now, and it doesn't cost you anything. So let me give you an example. Write a job description for a marketing manager, 10 plus years experience, and working remote. Okay, let's see what it does. So you see it's like super quick. Okay, perfect. But then I don't know, are there any comments? But you will probably agree with me that this is like a super bad prompt.
Very bad. I mean, it's just like very generic.
It's super generic. Like now, the large language model has no idea who you are, what you want exactly, what it is about, like basically nothing. And this is how generic the output is as well. We were talking about input versus output. Strategic hands on role, okay, it just made it up, right? Digital content, brand marketing, it made it up. Result driven professional is very generic. Marketing strategy, COO, it is very, very, very generic. You would agree with me, right? Everything is very generic. I think in general, the job description itself is not that bad. So even the large language models are getting better and better because obviously they're learning from previous chats, right? But let's see what happens if we give some better instructions, for example. Act as a recruiter with over 50 years of experience in remote recruitment. You have to hire a marketing manager with 10 years experience working in FMCG, for example, just, to give it a bit more of information, working in FMCG, leading a team of two, traveling, etc. So I'm not gonna, because usually now what I would do, I would write like a mega prompt and give it all the information also about culture, about the environment, etc. But this is just to show you, like, the more information you give, obviously the better the output is. And here you can already see it's making up completely different the about section. So you already gave more information. The output is getting much better. It's getting less generic, but more specific. And I think this is the beauty of it. Keep this always in mind when you are using any large language model for example, these type of job descriptions. And the same goes, for example, talking about, oh, here you see it even added what we offer. We didn't have this before. So this even goes when you are using it for emails, for example. You want to write an email and you just say, okay, write an email to my boss saying that I'm going to be late. Well, it's not going to be the same output as if you give it a bit more of context. So that's why. I hope this helps. I cannot see any comments, so I don't know if there have been any comments from the audience.
No, so far, no. Yeah. So
Okay, okay.
everyone, if you have any comments, please write. While
Yes,
we have
yes.
Magdalena here to answer to us, please. She can.
And otherwise, I'm super happy to answer any questions that you have afterwards because, I know how it is, but with these streaming platforms, you cannot directly see
Yeah.
if someone is writing.
So maybe people are shy. They
Yeah.
are writing the prompt now, like I'm going to write the job description.
I know that HR people are shy. That's nothing negative. I just,
No, I mean, that's
acknowledge.
okay. So that's cool. So, what are in which HR functions, right? You using most of AI? Like you feel like really takes a lot.
So I would say most is probably admin, is really admin,
Yeah, I
talking
mean,
about like, handling emails, anything related to employee communication, talking about onboarding, learning is a big topic, performance management as well, everything that is connected to people analytics. Talking about recruitment, there is also a lot except for the resumes, as we have discussed before. But where is the most? It's hard to say because it always depends on the size of the company. It always depends. You would have some companies that, for example, don't have a learning and development department, and they will outsource everything that is connected to learning and development. And they will mainly use AI and HR for payroll, for example, or anything that is connected to people analytics and data. Then you will have others that are having so much to do in recruitment because they are recruiting 200 people a month. They will obviously use it most in recruitment. So it
Yeah.
always depends. It always depends.
Okay, we have a question, by the way.
Yes.
So, do you think some people might feel more comfortable introducing themselves to an AI rather than HR?
Do I think some people might feel
You,
okay, talking about the candidates, because probably the question goes back to
yeah,
what
it
we
was
have
before it
discussed.
was coming. Yeah.
This one is hard for me to answer because I am an extrovert and I'm a very empathetic person and I get energy from people. So I know that talking about, like more introvert people, maybe they would say I would feel more comfortable. Out of my perspective, I could not imagine that. And after talking to really thousands of people in HR, I have not heard the majority thinking so. So most of the people would say, no, I wouldn't do that. But again, I cannot talk for everyone. And there are even, AI videos, recruitment videos around. And I can hear from some people saying that, I actually like the fact that I can say again.
Repeat. I didn't
Right?
get it.
Right? So
Yeah.
I think this is very, very individual. It really, really depends. From my perspective, I could not imagine that. I would not feel comfortable talking to a machine like this because I would feel like, does it even get me? Does it get my face expression? Does it get you? You can see like I'm very energetic, and this I would miss. But I could imagine that some people, yeah, maybe.
Okay. Do you see questions, right?
Now I can see them. Yeah, I can see them.
So we have from Tanya.
Yes.
If you could only choose one AI tool for HR, excluding recruitment, we already discussed it. What tool would you choose?
If I understand correctly, she's talking about practices. So which HR practice I would, use probably. Talking about tool, there are a lot of amazing tools. I'm a huge fan of Eightfold, for example. Eightfold AI is a fantastic tool. It's like a talent intelligence platform that covers most of the HR practices. I really, really like it. But talking about the practice, I would say learning. I would definitely say learning and development, because AI can create like very individual learning paths for each and every person in the company in real time.
I know.
And this is beautiful, beautiful. My biggest headache as an HR director when I was still employed was always, how am I supposed to develop 4,000 people? Like I cannot, it's simply not possible. I cannot take care about every single person, but I would want to, because I know this person from this country and this and here and there, and I really want to develop them. I want to do something for their career. It's simply not possible. And this is why I say learning would be the practice where I'd say, oh yes, please, all AI on it, all AI on it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, in education in general, right? To make it personalized
That's
because
it.
everyone has a different. I mean, I know it's not HR related topic, but it's kind of connected. So
And it fuels every other part of HR, every other part. So
yeah,
learning fuels every other practice: engagement, recruitment, future work readiness, cultural fit, succession planning, basically everything. And this is why it's so important as well.
okay. We have one more question, but before, because I also thinking about because you
Yes,
mentioned
yes,
the tool which you like a lot.
yeah.
Can you spell it or maybe write about like?
Yes, of course. Like, can I write in
I
this?
think so.
Oh, I no, I cannot. There is a private chat I can write.
Or you can like any link it
I
into.
have typed it in. I think, Chris, you can
Yeah,
see it, and
I can
then
see it. I can
you
copy
can.
it and yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. I'm also, working with them. So if you have any questions related, feel free to reach out and we can arrange something.
Okay.
And there is another tool I also love, which is Lena AI, but I would say it's more for, like big corporation and enterprises. It doesn't work that well for companies under 1,000 people. It's more like plus 1,000, even better, plus 10K employees. You
Cool.
know, those things depend a lot. So when you find a tool, this I really want to say to the audience, don't think like, oh, I have a tool. Like, please check what it is about. Like, what does it handle best? Does it handle best smaller companies, bigger companies? Also to think about the budget and the capabilities, of course.
Totally. Beautiful. Okay, and we have one question before. So, what are the most disruptive, innovative tools you have seen for HR department as at small and medium businesses, and what do they have in common? For instance, what areas do they help with?
So usually those platforms, those are the tools that I have just mentioned. Again, there are several others. I encourage you, by the way, if you visit my LinkedIn profile, and Chris, I think you can share the link as well. You can download for free my AI for HR playbook, which is full of tools.
Oh,
So you have all the tools there. Instead of like taking now 10 minutes talking about
I
tools.
think it's better.
Exactly. I think you can just go and download my playbook, because I have put in all the tools. I am gonna change it a little bit, I think, in the next 4 weeks, because I have also changed. Obviously, there are new tools and I'm always working with them. But this one, I think you can, as a first look, you can definitely use it. And there you will find all of these tools. And there you will also find the answer to your question, what they have in common, what they do best, what they do not so good. Another tool I definitely want for you to look at is Justice AI.
Oh, nice. What's the
Justice
nice
AI.
name?
Oh my God. I mean, it is a friend of mine. His name is Christian Ortiz. He has developed it. And it is a game changer when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion. You will also find it in my playbook, but this is a tool that I definitely have to mention.
Cool. So now we have free tools to
Yes.
try. Okay, cool. So if people have any questions, we continue. We'll continue looking at this. So I have one. I want to talk a little bit about the future as well, right? So, but before, I want to ask you. So,
Mhm.
if every company had to publish an annual AI in HR transparency report, what would you want in it?
That's a very, very good question. So I think I would want to have a bias audit, like a bias audit results. We were speaking about bias, and obviously that we cannot be without bias, but I want to know what is in those tools. So we can have this in the transparency report, right? And we can see what are the biggest biases that are coming up that we can afterwards work on. Then I would like to have accuracy rates, talking about like how accurate is the AI tool actually, explainability of decisions. For me, this is non-negotiable. So I want to know, how does this tool, how is it making decisions? Why? I want to have it fully transparent and explained.
Mhm.
And I would also want to know, are the employees trusting it or not?
Good ones. Cool.
I think this trust score, this would be very important for me, because again, it should be always people first.
Totally. I know people couldn't see my link which I sent. Well, I just say that after the call, I will place all of these links in LinkedIn post in the comments,
Mhm.
and then you can go to Magdalena's page and download the whole workbook about it.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about the future a little bit and trying to kind of imagine what future of AI in HR. I have my some ideas that I was like would like to suggest, but I want to see yours. It can be science fiction, okay? So it's something that you would like to see. So it's not necessarily what's going to be real, but just like let's imagining what actually good it bring and like something that is like crazy maybe. Not
So
necessarily.
maybe I have to tell you what I did. So what
Okay.
I once did was, I think it was also ChatGPT, and then I after tried it with a Gemini. I was really like, testing like AI on, basically I was challenging it and asking it, okay, in 50 years from now, what do you think HR will look like in 100 years, in 150 years, etc. So I was moving into this sci-fi direction because I was so interested in finding out what it would actually say. And what really stayed with me was, what really kept my attention was the fact that it would always talk about talent architecture.
Okay.
So AI as a real-time career coach, this is what we have just spoke about when it comes to learning and development. And I know it's something that we could already have right now, but I'm talking in a completely different dimension, like really real time. It's embedded in your work tools, in your workflows. It's reading your skills right now. It's reading your well-being. It's getting how you feel, and it's giving you the growth that you need in the moment. So as of now, this would be, for example, something that would definitely fascinate me. And then I did a little, not experiment, but I think I wrote in my newsletter about it. What if AI could actually spot a narcissist or any type of toxic behavior at the workplace?
Or
Because
abusive as well.
yes. Yes. This is a big, big thing. So when I'm talking to HR people, most of the time, this topic comes up like, how can we get rid of toxic people? And the worst part is that those toxic people are usually the best performers. And we are not there yet. I mean, you cannot just say, hey, AI was saying that you are a narcissist and you are, talking in a passive aggressive language to your colleague. I mean, I don't know. I think in China, they can like monitor you and your face and what you say and everything. In Europe, we don't do that. So it's, at the moment, it's not realistic. But in the future,
I mean,
talking about sci-fi, let's spot this toxic person and let's just kick them out. This would
what
be something I
toxic?
would love.
Your level toxicity is 80 plus. So sorry.
Yes, yes. And obviously also using it in a positive way. So if the AI can spot that you are going through a hard time and you have something on your heart you don't want to talk to anyone about. So you don't want to say, I don't know, my child has a bad disease, I'm going through a divorce, or I have lost someone in my family. I don't know. Those are very personal topics. And maybe you don't want to share with anyone, but
Yeah.
the AI can spot and say, I can see your well-being is going down. Maybe you should take a day off, and basically helps you to kind of develop and get your well-being back. I think those things would help a lot.
Yeah, that's what I was also thinking. It would be nice. I thought a little bit more one-sided, so it would be nice that if AI can, like, with the well-being, detect the stress level. So because sometimes you're
Also,
working so much and you don't
yes.
feel it until you actually break, and then it's already too late. Because stress is affect so much our health. And if we can predict, like prevent it in early on stages, this is going to be amazing, you know.
Yes.
But I also think about well, with the like virtual reality glasses, I think it will be, because I know onboarding, it's sometimes, I mean, boring. I like recently, sometimes you're just like, I'm sorry, I want to know about your culture, but all of this presentation is so boring. So I'm not
It's
thinking,
so
like,
cool.
skip. So it will be nice, you know, you have like these virtual glasses, and you like emerge and learn about the culture of the company. And it's like in
You
like,
feel it.
exactly, you feel it, it's a gamification, and like these two
Yes.
weeks when you have to learn about the company, you actually learn because you have experienced this, and I think it's going to be pretty cool.
I
And
think I know that some companies are trying something very, very similar. And I'm going to go to a presentation exactly about this in the next, I think, 6 weeks. So after I can actually update you because this is
perfect.
such an interesting topic.
I think it's possible. It's already here, so
Yeah,
it's not something unreal, but it's just
absolutely.
like it's
Mhm.
something that it would be nice that more companies started to implement
Yeah.
it, because that makes onboarding way more fun. You know,
Yes.
it also
Yes.
relieve the load from you, because like you cannot do it all the time, like personally. And with the presentations, I'm sorry, it's getting boring.
Yes.
And one thing, I think it's connected with the like kind of learning, as you said, but I think it's nice if AI can help you develop like a personalized career path.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of you enter with one position, with one knowledge, but how you grow in the company, how you develop, where did you learn, and then you can suggest what you actually grow. So like based on like specificality. So that's actually possible.
Yeah.
Cool. So we have a couple of more minutes. I still let the people, if they have some questions or anything, so please ask. So let's do a little bit of fun one.
Okay, let's do that. You know, I'm always up for that. we
Exactly.
we cannot be so serious all the time.
No. So we know that this is the generation of emojis, right? So people love emojis everywhere. So if you have to choose one emoji for HR, which one is going to be?
The emoji for HI and I would say this one.
Me too. I also was thinking this one.
Definitely.
Much.
Definitely. Because, you know, it's really hand in hand. And it's what I always say. It's working together and not against each other. It's not we against AI against us, but it's really, you know, it's these two hands I would choose. Yeah.
You also can choose related with your weather forecast. You know,
Yeah.
like the sun coming out. It could be the case. You know, so my first choice was a handshake, but the other one.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
Also thinking maybe like, okay, let's process how's it going. But it was my third option, so I have three. Okay. Perfect. Now we're gonna do a quick fire round. Okay, so
Mhm.
don't overthink. I ask you the question, you quickly reply. First thing that's come into your mind. If people wants to participate, also participate. Okay,
Okay, cool.
let's go. Biggest AI time saver this month.
Transcribing interviews,
Okay. One HR task you'd never automate.
delivering bad news to employees,
Good. Favorite prompt opener.
act as an HR director with over 25 years international experience.
Okay. Most overhyped AI claim.
AI will remove bias from hiring.
Okay. A most human HR moment this week.
Coaching someone through a career decision face to face.
Nice. That was a good one. Perfect. Well, I think we're gonna be wrapping up slowly. So while you have a chance, you still have a chance to ask Magdalena some questions while we have her here on live. But remember that you can always go to her profile, ask your questions. She is absolutely amazing person. She kind and everything, and she will ask and help you to navigate. Or you can download her workbook. And so yeah, Magdalena, again, thank you so much for joining us. It
Thank
was
you.
real pleasure. It was a beautiful conversation. we got a lot of insights from HR, deep in HR. So I hope people find it valuable as well. And I just want to remind people that SheAI is finally launching in 8th of September with 10 new courses on AI education. So where we continue teach people, not only in HR, but everywhere.
Yeah.
So just keep it in mind. So again, thank you so much for finding time in August after vacation and yeah, sharing your knowledge.
Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you. Thank you for everyone that joined. And again, please feel free to contact me whenever you want. I'm happy to answer your questions. I'm happy to, connect with all of you. And I'm so excited to be part of the She AI community. And you will also be able to learn from me when it comes to AI and HR. So stay tuned. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.